Well, hi friends, it's Tracey from Nova Scotia Living, and I wanted to do a canning video about canning up ham. I got the idea of this from the Michigan Snow Pony. She does a bunch of canning videos. She hasn't done a video in a while, I don't think, but she's a great resource. I'll put the video that I seen of hers down below. But anyway, she canned up ham like this. I bought all of this meat 50% off. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm going to take it out of the pack, rinse it, and then I'm going to dice it. I'm going to can it up diced. I use ham in so many things, like chilies, or omelets, or corn chowder, or soups, or stews, or whatever. But that's what I'm going to do now. I'm in the process of doing another video all at the same time. I'm cooking supper on the wood stove. It's actually a snow day here. School was canceled. Because it was storming and it is bitter, biting, ice cold outside. So what better day than cook on a wood stove and can up some ham. So let me get these out, chopped up, and we'll start the process. Alright, is that better? That's a little better. Better than nothing. Anyways, I cut it up. Tried to make it all the same size, but I just did my best. Now, I'm just getting my funnel. The Michigan Snow Pony, she cut the skins, you know, that outer skin, the football. I call these football hams because they look like little footballs. She cut the skins off just because she doesn't care for them, but we don't mind them at all, so I left them on. What she did with her skins, though, she dehydrated them and made them into dog snacks, and I guess they turned out great. So, and if you guys want to do this, have some dogs that might like ham snacks, that's a great idea. So I'm dry canning this, which I mean by that I'm not adding any liquid to these jars, and I'm doing it in quart jars. The first thing I do when I start canning, or want to can something, when I wash my jars, I check the rims. Make sure, my kids are out there, check the rims there's no nicks or scratches or anything on them. Since we're pressure canning, we don't have to sterilize or sanitize these. I'm going to push this ham down as much as I can. So when this cooks, it's going to shrink down some more. So we try to get as much in here as we can. Well, to that bottom lip of the jar, leave a little head space. So yes, you got to check, because if there's a crack in the ring, it's not going to seal, or your jar might bust in the canner, or you did all this work for nothing. So do your best. I wish I had a squisher. What would be a good squisher? Empty pill bottle or something. I got to check this pork on the stove I'm cooking. I got more to put in the pan after this batch is done. I got a house full today. And I'm right-handed. I'm using my left hand right now. Jeepers creepers. Just flip it over. And I got that big pot beside this pan is full of corn on the cob. Alright, let's get back to business. So what I'm going to do is fill this up as much as I can. Keep squishing it down and squishing it down and squishing it down. You can this in broth. I choose not to do that because I want the straight up meat. Sometimes when you can stuff, it can go a bit mushy, and I don't want this ham to go mushy. And I'm thinking, whenever I pop the top of this, if I want that little brown on the outside of it, I would just toss it in a pan. This ham is already cooked. The kids have been snacking on this as I was cutting it up. So yeah. I'm using regular mouth jars. Probably wide mouth jars would be better. I just don't have very many of them, so I'm just using the jars that I have. The wide mouth is just, it's easier to get the stuff out of the jar, that's all. But I don't mind poking around in there, getting it out. We'll get it out. I got a small army to feed. But yeah, this would be good. and any kind of soups and things. Yeah. Another thing, I have my 2 canners over on the stove over there. I have 2 Miro canners. Those guys are making an awful racket. Misha and Maze. And Maze, stop. Jeez. Anyways, 2 Miro canners. M-I-R-R-O. They're not expensive canners. My mom gave me one years ago, and it's over 20 years old. The other one I bought new myself. Okay, I'm not the only grown-up in the house. And they work perfect for me. I've never used those canners that have the little dial gadgets on it. A lot of people use those, and they were great. I actually have one of those down in the basement. Okay, you guys go play somewhere else. I have one of those down in the basement. It's my sister-in-law. She gave it to me to try out sometime. She's just a little wary of it. So someday I'll try that. But for now, I'm sticking to what I know, what works good. And yeah, I'm sure my canner was less than $100. Like I got it on Amazon. And I don't get little canners. I like canning big. You can can stuff like this in small batches. I just do, whenever I can, I like to do big batch canning, just because I have 6 kids. I have 1 grandchild. Sometimes we have more kids, company. I love to try to host big suppers sometimes, get-togethers. I'm not a fancy smancy kind of person, but when I cook big. So one of these jars would at least be one for 1 meal, if not 2 jars, depending on what I'm using it in. Squish it down, squish it down, squish it down. Yeah, so I'm going to keep doing this. Right here beside me I have a bowl of vinegar. I like to wipe my jars with a bowl of vinegar. You can do it with hot water. I'm just used to using vinegar. And yeah, that's what my mom used. That's what I use. But you can use hot water. It works perfectly fine. I just use paper towel and it's good to go. Yes. I need to make sure I get as much in here and squish it down. So, yes, for my canners, I'm getting off track because those guys are distracting me, or I'm letting them distract me. But I have the water that's specified for my canners, my Miro canners. So whatever canner you have, you make sure you read your manual. If you don't have your manual anymore, I'm sure you can find it online. That's what I had to do with the old canner my mom gave me, and it was there. Just because every canner is a little bit different. I can with a 10-pound weight. Again, you need to check what your altitude is above sea level. Oh, it's getting there. I'll start sealing these ones up so you can see. Sorry, the tripod I have isn't the greatest. Like, it doesn't tilt down. Like, I wanted to get you guys up close and personal, but I gotta have you back so you can see. So, anyways, my jars are cold now. The ham is cold. My canners are cold. I wouldn't put hot meat in a cold jar, or cold meat in a hot jar, or cold jars in a hot canner. Make sure, if you're doing cold canning, everything's cold to begin with. And it's fine. That's fine. You can do that with anything. Anything. Just don't mix temperatures. It's not worth it. You'll lose a jar is what will happen. I'm sure well, I know I have more than once, have broken a Pyrex dish or a glass or something like that in my lifetime. So what I'm going to do now, don't really need to try to debubble this. Most things you need to debubble, but I'm not putting a liquid in this, and there's going to be some air bubbles in there. But I'll do one just so you can see. So you never use metal or glass when doing this. Yeah, if I do this, I might be able to get some more ham down in there. I just go around the edges. It's good when you're doing vegetables because there's always little air pockets. Yeah. Maze, come get that ball out of here, please. Misha, can you do me a favor? Evie's bottle is here. He just dropped it on the floor there. Can you fill that up for me, please?
Whoa, whoa.
So we just go around, try to get some air bubbles out, try to make some more room for some ham.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's right over there. He just dropped it off the chair. And then what we do next, Misha's going to do it for you, Evie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm canning some milk for Evie.
Yes, you are. So I just dip a clean paper towel in and wipe the tops of the rims because you don't want any of that ham juice or grease or any bits of ham or anything like that on the lids. After I do these jars, I'll fast paste the rest of it and bring you up real close. Okay, you fellers? So the rims are all wiped. Oh, that water is, I'm going to take the lid off that corner on the cob.
Oh yeah, I forgot to put the corn on the cob. We're going to have like...
Ooh, it's bubbling, it's bubbling.
Is it almost supper time?
Pretty soon.
No, it isn't. In 3 more hours. 3 more hours, it's supper time. 3, 2, 1. It's time. No, 3 hours.
Say that these ones are done.
3 seconds.
I should put that over there. I'm just going to put that on the back of the stove for... Oh, Tracy, what am I thinking? The back of the stove for a minute while I get these jars done up. Maze, I need those. Here. That's for my can and hun. That's not a toy. Evie, you go on out with your uncle and auntie. Yeah, she's coming. Thank you, Misha. Okay. I'm using these Bernadine lids. Before they would say you have to soak them in hot water. Now they don't say you have to. I'm not doing that today, but soaking it in hot water will loosen up that little red ring around there. You can't feel it with your fingertips. It just supposedly would help seal it to the jar. Put the lid on. Make sure there's that air space in between. And then I have my rings. I've been canning the past few days, so I have them all washed. And you put it on fingertip tight. Not all your muscles. Don't crank it. Just as tight as you can do it with your fingertips. And since these are cold, I can handle these jars. Fine and dandy. And yeah, I got a lot on the go right now. And that's what they look like. Easy peasy. Now there will be some juice in this when it's done, by the time it's done. Juice from the ham. But right now there's nothing in there. So I'm going to get these loaded in the canner, finish up these, and I'll be back and show you the canners when I'm ready to move on to the next step. Alright guys, well I got everything in the canner. I could fit one more jar in here, but I decided to just even it out. And yeah, I didn't need more jars. I still have 3 extra jars over there, so that's good. I have to go lay my grandson down. Well, I don't know. His mama gets done work at 4, so maybe I'll try to keep him up. You got some water? Okay. I just had to step outside a minute, guys. It's so hot in here. I had to go out and the sub-zero temperatures to cool down, but I have, like I say, I have a water in there. I do have a splash of vinegar in there. And this vinegar, all it does is keeps the film off the outside of the jars. If you forget to do that, that's okay. All you have to do is wash it off the next day. I'm going to put the lid on. So for this canner, here's my lid. Here's the gasket. I wash the gasket in between every canning batch. Wash it real good. Make sure there's nothing on it. And it goes in under this lip. That's what seals it to the top of the pan. This is my other one. It's the same thing. So let me get it on here and I'll show you. Alright, I turned both canners on high. I need to clean the top of these real good with a scouring pad. That stuff gets cooked on there and I need a hardcore scouring pad. But I forgot to mention I have one of these little trays in the bottom of the canner. You have to have one. You can't just put the jars at the bottom of the canner. You gotta have this. Gots to. Anyways, these are on high. Here's a little red poker that pokes up when there's pressure in this canner. It takes a while to happen. But we're waiting for the steam to come out of here and aggressively coming out of there. When that happens, we let it do that for 10 minutes and we set the timer. So when that steam's busting out of there, I'll bring it back and show you. Alright friends, I was busy with supper. Waited for these to come up. If you can see how that steam's coming out, not just a little wisp, it's being aggressive. And the little red poker's poked up, so that means there's pressure in these canners. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes, and after the 10 minutes are up, I'll be back. Alright friends, the 10 minutes just came up, and I have weights. Mine came with a 5, 10, 15 pound weight. I used a 10 pound, and I always blow in the bottom of this to make sure nothing is clogged up. And I should say I blow in the top of my canner lid too, just to make sure it's not clogged up. So I blow in it. I'm going to get another mitt because I don't want to get burned. Had it happen, so I'm a little weary. Put that on. I'm going to do it to the other one. There. So we leave it on high until these start doing the funky chicken and dancing and making an awful racket. And when that happens, I'll bring you back. Alright guys, these both started jiggling at the same time. That's a miracle. Usually the one in the back is a little faster, but anyways, I just turned my heat down to about a 7 on my stove. There should be a gentle jiggle constantly, or I find it might act up like that a couple times a minute for me. And I set the timer for 90 minutes because these are quart jars. If they were pint jars, I'd do it for 75 minutes. But since they're quart jars, 90 minutes is it is. So I'll bring you back after that 90 minutes. Alright guys, that 90 minutes is up. All we do is shut the canners off. We don't try to cool them down. We don't try to move them. We don't try to take the weights off. We just leave it until that little red poker is down. It can take up, it can take a while, half hour, 45 minutes. But when that poker is down, that means it's okay to open this. It's still going to be hot, but there's no pressure in it. So I'll bring you back when those pokers are down. Alright friends, well it's 7:45. These canners have been shut off for a long time. I had to spin to town, do a couple of things. I know the lighting's bad, but they're still warm. It's still warm. I just wanted to go over, when you open a canner, I got to twist mine and open it away from me like that, so there's water dripping down. I don't want it dripping on my toes or getting a steam bath in my face because it'll hurt. But these are still very hot, very hot. It smells good though. Ooh, it smells good. Now look at that. I'll get some good pictures, up close pictures. But there is liquid in there now, but it's from the ham. And it actually browned up a little bit, which is fantastic. So I'm going to unload all of these and get them over at the table, and I'll meet you over there in a minute. Alright friends, sorry it's the next day and it's supper time, just about supper time. And I've left these overnight. I didn't bring you back last night just because the lighting was really bad and it's almost getting that time again. But this is the ham. It darkened up some. There's a little liquid in there. You know, I didn't put any in there. And what I do with my jars, I take the rings off and see, I didn't put them on tight at all. Like, I haven't even touched these, so that one's a little there. And these all sealed. Like the seal is on, good and tight. I'll give these a rinse, dry them, I'll put ham January 2020 on it. And yeah, this is the first time I've done this ham before, so I'm curious to see if it's mushy or not. So when I do, I'll do a little update on it. But it doesn't look like it is, because it even browned up a little bit, and maybe because I left those skins on. I don't know, but that's how I dry can ham. So hip hip hooray. It is bitter, 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 bitter cold outside today. So that fire is welcomed. And my jars are singing, and yeah, I need to get these processed because, yeah, I need to get my table back. So let me turn you around. All right, friends. Well, I hope you liked coming along my canning journey. I'll get these taken care of, and yeah, think about something else to get canning because I'm on that kick and I want to do it. So I'm going to do it and use up my jars. So anyways, yeah, I can't remember if I'm forgetting anything to tell you about that, but you seen what I did anyways. And yeah, so I'm going to say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose, but if not, that's okay too. I still love ya. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really, really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. So alright guys, well I'm going to end it here. Until next time, happy canning, and have a good night, or have a good morning, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye! Boink.